Salute, salute. Welcome into the show. Hope everybody's doing well. The trade deadline season is here and the deadline's about to hit. Knicks Nation, we here. Salute to the chat. Salute to Nick Streets. New York Knicks making moves. Yesterday, swung the deal for Josh Hart, right? And at the moment in negotiations, in talks with the Chicago Bulls, potentially over a Zach LaVine deal. That and plenty more will be taking you right up until the deadline. Salute wherever you're at right now. Salute to the chat. And let's talk about it. Man, has the league been turned upside down right now with Kevin Durant's shock move to the Phoenix Suns. The Josh Hart deal sort of came out of nowhere yesterday as well, which adds toughness and defense to this squad. We'll talk about it. Salute Admiral, what's good? Nick Streets, how we feeling after this situation? Give us your thoughts on if the Knicks were to acquire Zach LaVine right now, what's been reported right now, as we have just over an hour to go to the trade deadline hits, man, another year, right? This is what we live for as fans. Knicks Nation, I want to hear your thoughts on this thing. We'll shout out the chat, talk about it, answer questions, and the streets are buzzing more than ever. Smash that like button. E says, salute, CT. I like the Hart move. I wonder how much Brunson may have had a say. That's a great point you bring up. In seeing as that they played together, won a title at Nova, and it helps bring the depth and the toughness that he brings as well. Yeah, you hit with that. Yeah, I agree. Obviously, you know, a lot's been made about Tom Thibodeau, fam, E, and the Thibs experience with this. I just think Leon Rose, more than anything, is probably the biggest fan. Leon Rose was Josh Hart's agent. Let that be known when he was with CAA and Josh Hart signed this contract with the New Orleans Pelicans. He was repped by Leon at that point. So I think, yeah, Leon, Thibs, Brunson, it's a family up in here. CAA, Mafia, CAA affair. So yeah, a lot of factors went into it. But Josh Hart's game, for what we gave up, it was a nice upgrade. The fact is that the pick's heavily protected, or protected if the Knicks were to not make the playoffs and fall back out of the play-in situation, lose the play-in, the New York Knicks will get their pick back. So, I mean, nice transaction from where I'm sitting. You know, it was a middling upgrade, which is exactly what we've been talked about. You know, middling upgrade, trying to get better this year without sacrificing too much of the future. Fam, we got Richard and Dirty Dancer in the house. Fam, Aaron, what's good? What are your thoughts with Josh Hart's potential impact on the team? And do you also think it's a strategic in that it's positioned for a later trade to bring in an all-star caliber player? Yeah, it definitely is. You're on the same line of thinking, Aaron. I agree. And whilst, you know, there's nothing, you know, confirmation official with the New York Knicks, you know, talks will continue up until the next past the hour about Zach LaVine potentially. But if not this deadline, then exactly what you're saying in the summer. You know, the New York Knicks with Leon Rose here, with Tom Thibodeau here, they're trying to win. They're trying to win ASAP right now. I still feel like they'll prefer to have one draft pick in this draft, right? I don't think they'll be trading the Dallas selection. You know, they would probably like to have at least one first-round pick in this draft. But players on the block, you know, I don't know if they're married to RJ Barrett, you know, remains to be seen. Obi Toppin, I think they would be trading a lot of picks and pieces if they can to land that all-star fish. Dirty says, don't believe the current BS reports with LaVine finally building a 90s style D, right? No shot that they ruin it. Yeah, let's see. There's a lot of cooks in the kitchen right now. We're about to see what this team's made of. Richard, salute. How we feeling? How we feeling, man? We already made a big move, or middling move with Josh Hart, so there's less pressure. But I feel like the New York Knicks are trending towards making a move with Obi. It does look like that, as we'll continue to refresh refresh the feed. And Obi talks with Milwaukee. Milwaukee's looking for bench guard depth. and they're looking for Derrick Rose potentially. Yes, some of the reports with Levine right now does include Fournier, Derrick Rose, protected picks, Obi. One of them even mentioned Grimes as well, which would be crazy if that actually happened, Dirty. But yeah, like you said, we've all been played before with this situation. So not trying to throw shade at any reporter, but let's see. Joe Cowley from the Sun Times was the first one I saw that came out with the Levine buzz. Now, obviously, there's star power in the Garden, and Leon's going to be wanting to add to it. Is Zach LaVine the kind of right fit? I question that completely. Scoring wise, absolutely. Deep range would stretch the floor out for Julius and Brunson on the offensive side of things, but defensively, like Dirty said, it's up and it's down with that situation. Obviously, Josh Hart adds in extra defense. Josh Hart can play bigger for his size. Reports that Josh Hart is only 6'4". Some say it's 6'5". It's probably, there in somewhere in between. I'm going to say Quentin Grimes kind of size. So, but he does play bigger than what his height says. Josh Hart played small forward with the Blazers. He can defend bigger guys. He's tough. He's gritty. He can really check a lot of players. 1, 2, 3. With that said, shooting wise, he's not going to bring a deep range. With that situation, he's going to be bringing in that cutting movement, off-ball movement, a nice piece that can play off-ball, and add solid scoring punch to the bench, and also start as well if you need. Richard says, I like the move with Hart. I can see Thibs wanted him when he was in mini. Yeah, and he wants that defense he can provide. 100%. Yeah, big Thibs play with this situation out here. And of course, we have the situation that also went down yesterday. The league's been shaken up and will be shaken up in a matter of just over an hour. But yeah, the biggest move is already come and gone with Kevin Durant and then the Brooklyn, New Jersey Nets now rebuilding fully, right? Left with Ben Simmons, the remnants of the big three between Harden, Kyrie, and KD is a thing of the past now, right? Knicks fans rejoice right now. One team's trying to win in New York and one team's rebuilding right now. We had Kyrie Irving's first game with the Mavs yesterday. What did you guys think of that situation? What would you think about Zach LaVine if the Knicks were to land him, and what would a solid package be in your eyes? And we have another trade go down with Adrian Wojnarowski announcing the Nuggets are trading Bones Highland, right? A guy that we talked about and Dirty Dancer was a fan of getting in here. Bones Highland's off to the Clips. The LA Clippers have swung that move for Bones Highland, and there's talks that they might get Russell Westbrook off a buyout. So even more to the point you see on the screen, man, the wild, wild west out here, man. Ja Morant going on record saying that, man, I don't sweat the West. Well, man, he opened his mouth too soon. Man, he opened his mouth way too soon right now. Phoenix, who's top of the list for you now? Phoenix. The Mavs look nice. I think the Mavs will hold on to their top 4 spot with Kyrie and Luka. The Clips are trying to make some moves. The Lakers have upgraded with Vanderbilt, Malik Beasley, and of course Rui Hachimura as well. Also, another great point Richard alludes to with the Josh Hart deal, the New York Knicks have freed up 2 roster spots. Of course, we send once a Knick, always a Knick, Svi Mikhailuk to Portland. They're rerouting him off to another team, which is the Charlotte Hornets, in another another move with the Charlotte Hornets, another 3-team move. And we also moved Ryan Arcidiacono. Drip more in the house, salute. Knicks leveling up slowly. Man, it might not be that slow. Let's see. But I think Obi's probably going to get moved by the sound of it. They're looking to try to find him a home, or teams are calling. right now. And Derrick Rose, maybe close to Chicago, heads off to the Brew City up in here, man. Luke, what's good? Great locker room guy. Chemistry, team chemistry on point, presence, and he'll push the starters in practice. Definitely Josh Hart, 27 years of age, and he's got a player option, so that's key. You know, the New York Knicks probably feel like he's a longer term piece, I feel, and can probably find themselves finding a nice, number that they can agree on. Don't forget, like I said, Leon Rose was already his agent previously and helped him sign the deal with the New Orleans Pelicans, right? P Nice in the house. Let's go. Pudge says Obi's gone. Definitely, I feel like that's more likely. I'll be surprised if Obi's still a Knick in an hour's time. But let's see. Maybe a deal a team abandons negotiations. That can happen as well at the last minute. We heard Mark Berman tell us last deadline the Knicks were close to getting Miles Turner and sort of pulled away at the end. But yeah, this is craziness personified right now. This is what we live for, right? Knicks Street's rocking out on the afternoon show, trade deadline here, and the league is not going to be recognizable right now. Salute Bricks Nation, all the diehards out here, right? We're not sweating nothing right now. We're making upgrades. Will, salute. Overall, what did you grade the Josh Hart move? I don't think it was a home run, and I don't think it was a bad move. I think it's sort of somewhere in between for me. I do want to see Josh Hart in the orange and blue, of course, and we can evaluate. But just on paper, in terms of what this team's shown us this year to be that team that just always fights, always in games, always trying to take it to the edge, Josh Hart is going to bring that for this club. Chemistry is going to be even better in the locker room. He's a Thibs guy. He'd been wanting to be a New York Knick for a minute. I posted on my Twitter, an interview was like in 2021, a podcast that he was on with Kyle Lowry and talking about the Thibs impact, all of that. We also just had, we have another trade, Bay to Golden State for Wiseman. Yep, appreciate you, Bricks, for that, man. Keep refreshing. We all out here. Sadiq Bay's off to the Golden State right now. And James Wiseman's heading back to Motown with that situation. We have the Oklahoma City Thunder trading Darius Baisley to the Suns again. And Dario Saric in a second is heading back to OKC. So that's crazy. With that said, as part of the Bones Highland deal also, the Clippers will send the Nuggets a 2024 and 2025 second round pick. So that's it, right? So they got Bones Highland for 2 second round picks, okay? I like Bones. I would have liked us to get Bones. But, we're pretty full right now, I think, with the Josh Hart move. A solid B+, says Will, assuming that there's plans to replace in place to re-sign him. Yep, absolutely. So yeah, the Knicks don't get Sadiq Bey. We missed out on that size. Like I mentioned, Josh Hart can play bigger than what he is in terms of his height right now, so I'm not sweating it. Right, one of the best rebounding guards in the NBA right now, if not the best. He's averaging 8 rebounds this season, ladies and gents. That's huge. That's more than some of our forwards right now. Josh Hart is also averaging 50% from the field in terms of field goal percentage right now. So he brings efficiency, just like Jalen Brunson been efficient all season. And he's bringing the rebounding, which we sorely lack. How many poor late game execution losses have we had, man, that's lost us the game? Failure to close out the possession, and get ourselves a nice rebound. So Josh Hart also addresses that. And also defensively, like we just added another terrific perimeter defender on this squad right now to go together with Quentin Grimes. And if RJ's still on the squad, let's hope he picks up his perimeter D right now. We know Brunson's perimeter D is the team's weakness at times. Julius Randle can be as well. RJ Barrett can be. So it's solid that we added another quality perimeter defender in Hart to add to Q dot and IQ, of course. And our parish duggers in the house, let us know what's up. Salute, salute, salute CT. Let's go New York Knicks. Let's go Knick Streets. Appreciate you, parish, man. Who would you like to see us get in this next hour as the clock hits 2 p.m. Eastern Time? We have one more hour to go. Right now, brace yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. Strap yourselves in. This thing's going to be madness. Right? I'm predicting madness with this situation. I'm going to grade that trade for the Warriors and the Pistons. I think that's an excellent trade for both. Looks like the Pistons were trying to get out of Sadiq Bey. There's a roster crunch, and they also needed a big man. They get a reclamation project in James Wiseman. Back to the New York Knicks. So for the Josh Hart move, I'll give it a B, a solid B plus. A B right now, probably with scope to become a B plus, like Will also says. In terms of adding guys that fit the chemistry right now and not sacrificing too much of the future. Like I said, it's unfortunate we had to trade a first round pick, but that first round pick is protected in the lottery completely. So if the Knicks don't make the playoffs, we get that pick back, and the pick conveys automatically into 4 second rounders as well. So that's some shrewd negotiating with that element right there. Pudge is going to go see the Knicks on Monday. Man, salute, salute, salute. Man, this next week's going to be popping. We got some news to talk about as well. Next week, we're going to have some guests on pre-All-Star break, Friday night, right? Some familiar faces up in the building. I know you guys are going to enjoy that. I'm going to be going live Friday night next week. Tomorrow, live after the game, and live after the Utah game as well. So the weekend's going to be rocking. And of course, next week, heading into the All-Star break, the Knicks have some key matches to try to pick up some big dubs before the break right now and continue. Traded for 5 second round picks. Wow. Yep, that's interesting, man. Hoping for a splash in the next hour, but with the past few years, this front office not holding my breath. Yep, it could go either way, but it does look like they're ready to make some moves right now. The Hawks are sending 5 second round picks to the Warriors now to get Bey. Okay, so Bey's not sticking with the Warriors, or is it the Warriors that's sending that situation? Let's refresh this baby. Yeah, the Hawks are trading Justin Holiday and Kaminsky to Houston for Garris and Matthews. And like you guys hit on, of course, the Hawks are sending 5 second round picks to the Warriors to acquire Bey. Man, that's unbelievable. That's crazy right there, man. I mean, second round picks can be bought, but man, the Hawks are going to hawk right now. Eddie's what's good. We need to call Brooklyn and get McCall for RJ and a first. That's going to be a situation where, you got to watch that space. I don't think Mikal Bridges is going to stick in Brooklyn long term, so maybe he could be had as well. Yeah, Pudge says, tell Berman what's up, man. Yep, you'll be able to tell him what's up as well with that situation, man. It's going to be fun talking about this thing. He was right about Cam all along, man. Yeah, we'll definitely be joking and giving him his flowers with that situation. I saw Berman tweet, I think yesterday, about also Deuce McBride. So he's a big fan of Deuce McBride. Do you guys feel like Deuce McBride is now out of the rotation? An extension of this Josh Hart move. How do you see this thing fitting in? I've seen some people say that he's going to start straight away. It's a no-brainer. And I heard some people say that Hart will come off the bench. because you can't upset the chemistry with Grimes. Look, in my opinion, I think even for this season, it could go either way. Hart can still be on the floor to close out games with Grimes. RJ, if he's stinking it up, this just puts a lot more pressure on RJ Barrett if he's still a New York Knick to close out lineups. But the Knicks just got more versatile. That's the way I look at it. They might even split minutes, that kind of situation. But I can see Hart starting, maybe not immediately in his first game, but I could see Josh Hart getting into that starting unit and Quentin Grimes running it with Quickly and RJ and maybe Deuce with the bench mob as well. Pudge agrees, yeah. Josh Hart could be starting soon, maybe not in his first game, but yeah, I could see him get that starting look right now. I mean, you're talking about bringing 8 rebounds per game and 50% shooting from the field is excellent right now. Doesn't need the ball a lot, just like Grimes doesn't need the ball. So yeah, man, the Wild Wild West. What did you guys think of the KD thing, man? And Brooklyn just pulling the pin on that grenade right now. We have a lot of unconfirmed reports that the New York Knicks are in negotiations now with Chicago Bulls over Zach LaVine. So much smoke with that situation. There remains to be fire. But let's see, man, we're less than an hour away. Ladies and gentlemen, the streets and the trade deadline is buzzing. Smash that like button right now. One potential framework of that deal could be Fournier, Rose, Toppin, and 3 first-round picks for LaVine and Dragic right now. That's from Jake Weinbach with that situation with Hoops Habit. So, I mean, we're waiting for the big dogs to put something out there with that situation. But yeah, I'm going to be on the road on the weekend too. I'm going to be live at UFC 284 in Australia, in Perth as well. I'm traveling to another city and I'm going to be enjoying the UFC this weekend as well. So this weekend's going to be crazy for me. And of course, the New York Knicks play Friday night, Saturday night. Let's get it. Yeah, I mean, it's a nice fit, Atlanta, for Sadiq Bey, but 5 second-round picks. I don't know what they're doing at the moment. Bones Highland could be had for 2 second-round picks as well. So that was interesting. This is another good point for Eddie. Thibs could extend to a 10-man rotation. I do think that it's going to be a situation where Thibs has to do something about that. Players are going to get too gassed towards the end of this season, man. They're going to get way too gassed, I feel. And I think it's a wise move. Even if you keep Deuce incorporated in an 8-minute role, just come in, be that little spark plug, get into guys, pick up dudes full court, and all of that stuff, right? I think it would be wise to keep it at a 10-man. Obi, Rose, Fournier still here. Brick's nervous, man. D Rose buyout coming. Yeah, we got Cam out of here, right? Fournier and Rose and Obi are the next situations. Bought tickets to watch Durant versus Jokic in Phoenix in April. Salute, Dirty. Let's go. Represent. There's Knicks jerseys in every single arena. But what did you guys think of the Florida-Orlando matchup? Man, that was insane. That atmosphere, salute to everyone in that building right there. That was amazing. It was a Knicks home game again. But man, did they show out. They represented up in there in Disney World. And of course, the New York Knicks put out that 4-point win. They started slow. It was gritty. The Magic aren't to be messed with. They're young, they're athletic, they're tough, they're fast, all of that stuff. The Knicks had to, call upon Jalen Brunson heroics again, Julius Randle, and IQ Quentin Grimes to lift us out of that hole. And we picked up that dub though, so that was the main thing. And the New York Knicks are now on a 2-game winning streak now, still 4 games over 500 right now, which is crazy heading into this All-Star break, right? As the games get tougher, the New York Knicks get tougher as well. So never count them out with this situation. Yeah, appreciate you, Will. Yeah, I'm going to have fun, no doubt. No doubt about it. If the Knicks can get Bridges, oh, it's a wrap. Knicks will be top 2 defensive team right now. It's a wrap. Talk about OG with that situation. We haven't seen anything go down yet with OG, but if we got OG, we would be probably the best defensive team, top 2, top 3. If we got Mikal Bridges, I think we would also be. We need that extra length and size with that. Luke says B plus for the deal. Yeah, I'm along the same line. With that said, I think it has room to become a B or even better than that. It is a weird trade for Bay. I don't think he's even a rotation player in Atlanta. I think they're just clutching at straws, or maybe could we see a John Collins transaction, man, in the next 50 minutes? Let's see. Yeah, let's get it. We out here buzzing right now, man. Keep refreshing, rocking out. Josh Hart, in terms of the shooting element now, it's not all rosy. Josh Hart is shooting like 30% from 3 this season. He has been shooting better than that throughout his career. One season he shot 37%. Maybe spacing-wise, things were a bit messy up in Portland, but I do feel like with Hart being able to play next to Grimes, like I said, playing next to Quickly, the fact that he can cut really well is big as well. It's not just about shooting for floor spacing. Josh Hart in the corner, cutting can be dangerous as well. You know, we know Julius Randle and Brunson like to hold the ball to the very last minute, and then the cutter makes that cut, Josh Hart, to the bucket. I think he's going to get a lot of easy buckets right now. But man, is the league absolutely shook right now. The Wild Wild West up in here is the new Wild Wild West, man. Ja Morant opened his mouth too soon. With that said, we have the Lakers that upgraded. The Clips are about to upgrade. The Phoenix Suns did a hell of an upgrade. And the Dallas Mavericks pulled off that big upgrade as well, which is probably more questionable for me. You know, late game execution. You got Luka, you got Kyrie. Who's going to be the one taking the final shots? Nobody knows. But it's still Luka's team for me, right? Kyrie's a rental. He got to get with the program up in there as well. That's Luka's team. But Kyrie's going to put up buckets all game long. He's going to make this Dallas pick a worse pick, most likely. But I'm still not sweating it. If the Knicks hold on to that Dallas pick, it's still going to be a top 25 pick, in my opinion. I don't see the Dallas Mavericks getting a top 5 record in the league. So if the pick ends up being top 25 in this draft, we can still get best believe we can still get a quality wing, a quality prospect as well. Of course, the New York Knicks will keep their pick as well if we don't make the playoffs. So that's part of that negotiation with the Hart deal that I like. Eddie says, who would you target right now for the Knicks if I was the GM? In terms of the deadline and long term, I do like a 5-man who can shoot. I think we saw Julius Randle embrace Joel Embiid. He'd be one of my pipe dreams, fam. I think Joel Embiid's patience. He's the type of guy that's going to stay patient in the short term in Philly, but not in the long term. I think they need to pull off some wins ASAP. And James Harden, we know how volatile, how tricky he can be to play with. So I could really see a world where Joel Embiid, is looking at a new situation. And we know Leon Rose. That's where Leon Rose steps up. Again, family connections, salute with Leon and Leon Rose, CAA, with Joel Embiid. So that'd be the kind of the right target. Otherwise, it'd be another wing upgrade. Pipe dream would be Brandon Ingram. Mikal Bridges, I would settle happily for that situation. I think he'd stretch the floor really, really well. With that said, yeah, I think the Knicks just still need a bit of size with the wing spot. RJ Barrett's future with this club is still in question right now. Not saying nothing's imminent by any means, but he's signed to a reasonably friendly deal. His play will pick up, I feel. So I feel RJ Barrett's still growing as a player. Defensively, size-wise, it remains to be seen whether it's the best fit long-term for the Knicks to win. You know, in this league, you need to be able to check the Kevin Durants. You need to be able to check the Jason Tatums of the world as well. And of course, we'll see where Jaylen Brown, man, ends up right now. 19 comments, salute, Heart for Heart, connection, ESP, and we know Clyde is going to have some nice calls with them, man, on the floor together. That's going to be nice, man. I heart to heart with that. Yeah, Embiid would be every fan's Knicks wish list, man. Yep. Just think about a guy like that, not just Embiid himself, but a player like that can stretch the floor at the 5 with Julius Randle and with another stretch 3. Ideally, Quentin Grimes, Jalen Brunson getting into the paint as well. An elite rim protection. So you're not losing anything that you have with Mitch, but you're just getting an all-NBA type offensive player as well. Now, speaking of Jaylen Brown, I just remembered, prayers up to the young man. He's going to be out of the All-Star game with a facial fracture. So does that open the door for a situation where we could have Jalen Brunson get up in there, ladies and gentlemen? That's going to be key. As we know, Jalen Brunson missed out and Julius Randle got in. We went through the dubs and the snubs. Right now, who would get in your opinion, if Jaylen Brown, with Jaylen Brown out? So yeah, another deal finalized. So we have Eric Gordon not going to the Knicks, thank goodness. So he's going from the Rockets to the Clippers right now. And the Clippers are also sending Luke Kennard to the Memphis Grizz, according to Sham Charania. So what do I make of that, man? It looks like the Clippers are trying to save some money. Luke Kennard's got a big salary. Memphis get a nice upgrade. That's some shooting. And the Grizzlies are sending Danny Green to Houston in the deal. As a 3-team deal, as the Clippers are acquiring Eric Gordon, like I said, right now. Yeah, Atlanta sending 5 second-round picks to Golden State right now with that situation with Sadiq Bey as well. Yeah, with Jaylen Brown out, Jalen Brunson needs to get in, I feel. He's just lit it up recently. His play hasn't let up at all, putting up 41 points the other night. Another big performance the other night against Orlando. He's very, very deserving. National media giving him his flowers as well. He's got the nod for me all day, every day over James Harden and Trae Young. So with Jaylen Brown out, we await. Let's see if we have 2 All-Stars, ladies and gentlemen. Also, want to celebrate Jalen Brunson and congratulate him. Yesterday, he had his jersey retired in the rafters at Nova as well. And we have that viral video when Brunson found out that his college teammate, Josh Hart, is now become a New York Knick, right? He was absolutely hype with that situation, man. You can't make this thing up right now. Yeah, Bridges in his prime and isn't injury prone. Yep. Crazy 7'2" wingspan, man. Like bigger than Frank Ntilikina's wingspan. Can shoot properly as well. Yep. He hasn't missed a game either. Yep, you're right. That's a big one. That's a big factor up in here, man. We know Julius doesn't miss games. Brunson tries not to miss games as well. We tough right now. with that said, yeah, Josh Hart, man, defensively, we just become better. It's an upgrade, no doubt about it. He brings a bit of cutting and rebounding to the floor. A savvy guy that I feel confident being on the floor late in the game. You know, we want to close out games better. Nothing better than a dude that shoots 50% and a dude who pulls in 8 rebounds per game. Man, he's out rebounding Obi Toppin per minutes. He's out rebounding other forwards as well. He's out rebounding RJ as well. 6'4", 6'5", plays bigger than what he is. He's tough. Offensively, some limitations, but he's a starting 5 caliber rotation man right now. To get that for a protected pick is big. That pick becomes 4 second rounders if it doesn't convey as well. So, and it starts and ends this year. It doesn't go any further than this year at all. So the New York Knicks will either get their pick back or they'll send 4 second rounders to the Portland Trailblazers as well, man. Second round picks, we can deal with that. We can live with that for this kind of upgrade right now. As the Knicks streets are buzzing, smash that like button. We say goodbye to Cam Reddish. Appreciate Cam for the minute he was here. It was a tough spot for the man. Professionalism at times was good. You know, he spoke of his displeasure, but he did it respectfully, I felt. Put a couple posts up, but it was a tough situation for him. You know, not everyone can be like Evan Fournier. You know, when you're in a contract year, it's tough. You know, you want to play, but you also want to earn some bread. And I felt like it was a tough situation, you know, for the New York Knicks. Yeah, killer. Let's go, Pudge. If Leon can get us Bridges by 3 p.m., he's my GM of the year, man. Yeah, talk about fit, big pickup, but I think they are probably going for Levine. Man, they're going all in on buckets right now with Josh Hart here, quickly, and Grimes playing defense. Undersized though, but playing defense. Obviously, the OG thing, what's happened there with the Knicks, I think they've just withdrawn. I really think like the price was too steep with that situation. And if Sadiq Bey, I think after getting Josh Hart, you know, they probably just didn't prioritize getting Sadiq Bey at that point. 19 salute, number 2 midi shooter in the league, at 50% from the field as well. Let's go, stand up. Also team chemistry. You see Brunson in the picture there, man. College teammates, champions together. NCAA champs, 2-time champ, Jalen Brunson, and with Josh Hart winning a chip with that situation, right? Jalen Brunson having his jersey retired as well. And we also saw Josh Hart post on his Instagram story. He was rapping along to Ja Rule and Fat Joe, New York, and Jadakiss, the New York anthem. So check that out if you haven't. Josh Hart on Instagram. He's all in. He's fully in this situation. He also posted 2 orange and blue hearts on Twitter the second the trade went down. So he knew what was up. So the Knicks are all Hart, man. We got I Hart and we got Josh Hart, J Hart. The Hart brothers up in here, man. J Hart and I Hart as well. Those two need to do a collabo, a clothing or a rap collabo. So we got less than an hour left. Let's go. What do you guys think happens? I think there's something brewing right now. The Knicks will definitely make another move. Let's go. Let's keep refreshing right now. And the Magic are trading for Lakers guard Pat Bev. So there you go, man. The Lakers made upgrades, but they're trading Pat Bev now to Orlando for Harlem's own Mo Bamba. Let that sink in. All you folks out there that wanted Mo Bamba, condolences. But Mo Bamba's headed to La La Land up in there. So that's a strategic move. The Lakers traded Bryant. They obviously needed a big man. I think that's a fairly solid move for LA, a dude who can pull guys out of the paint, for LeBron, for AD to operate. So that's key. Pat Bev's on his last legs. So let's go. Yeah, the Hearts are out for Valentine's, man. Yeah, breaking hearts on Valentine's. I'm surprised at the Pat Bev kind of thing. I know they don't have that much use for the man, but Pat Bev still brings that grittiness, that toughness. But it does look like it was a needs move, man. Mo Bamba can stretch it, not getting minutes with the Magic as well. So yeah, that's interesting. We'll obviously chop up Josh Hart game. We'll do a breakdown as well. Do I see Josh Hart suiting up tomorrow night? Probably not, as the Knicks are on the road. But maybe Utah. Maybe Utah is the first game that we see Josh Hart in the orange and blue skies, fam. Let's get it with that. A lot of teams making moves out here. It's the Wild Wild West now, the new Wild Wild West. Shams is also still reporting the Warriors' interest in OG Anunoby still. So that's the big one to drop now that KD is also out of the way. Chicago, been awfully quiet right now. Is something brewing with Zach LaVine? I think something could be brewing with that. We have the Chicago Bulls stumbling, bumbling, struggling, and they need to do something right now for their future. Is now the right time? How far does Leon Rose go, man? I'm getting nervous right now. First round picks would be involved. You would have to think Obi, Fournier, Rose, maybe Deuce, maybe Grimes, hopefully not, might be involved. Let's see. Let's see how desperate the Bulls are. Let's see how desperate Leon is right now. Obviously, the Josh Hart thing was a middling upgrade, right? It's not the end of the story for here, man. We're far away from that situation, and they're trying to go big game hunting. Whether it's in the summer or in this deadline remains to be seen right now. But we out here buzzing right now, seeing what's happening around the league. The Phoenix Suns, although CP3 is not the CP3 we know, I think the Phoenix Suns would have to be top of the West for me right now. Close with the Denver Nuggets. Obviously, they've traded bones. But the Clippers, it's an arms race right now. The Lakers are upgrading, and the Clippers are upgrading as well. They just got Eric Gordon and send out Luke Kennard, sending out some salary, trying to save some cash, I think. Let's go, man. We're rocking out. Throw us some questions, comments, anything out here. Which player do you want to see the New York Knicks pick up in the next 30 minutes or in the summer? Are the Knicks playoff bound? I believe they are right now. We have the Brooklyn Nets implode right now. The Brooklyn Nets are a thing of yesterday, man. Right now, that experiment didn't last long, man. One playoff series. Carmelo Anthony, one playoff series right now. Harden and Kyrie and KD was a straight failure up in here. Bong bing. Those Voltrons went out like that, in the words of Jay Boogie. And now Kyrie is a Mav, and KD is a Sun right now. Harden is a Sixer. And Brooklyn only have right now. Brooklyn are dealing with Ben Simmons. That's it. So yeah, that remains to be seen what happens with that situation. Salute. Give me 30 seconds and I'll be back. Salute. Back in action. Sharp Powers in the house. How we feeling, Sharp? How do I feel about Josh Hart pick up? Yeah, I gave it like a B plus. I think it was a move was kind of expected, but a guy that's not going to hurt our long term and our short term futures with that situation. So yeah, it was the right situation for this season. A guy who can help defend, unselfish, plays tough, plays greedy, rebounds, all of that stuff. So yeah, it was a great pickup. Let's see how the Knicks negotiate. His long-term next deal is going to be key as well. But like I also said, I like the fact that the Knicks get to keep their pick if we don't make the playoffs. So it's like, how we were always talking about this season, how if the Knicks make the playoffs, it's gravy. If the Knicks go into the lottery, that's gravy. So that doesn't change. So all it does is solidify that the Knicks either will make the playoffs with Josh Hart or we'll get that lottery pick back. And we still have Josh Hart for four second rounders. With that, the Pistons are now sending former Knick Kevin Knox to the Warriors as part of that multi-team deal in the James Wiseman deal. So Kevin Knox is now a Golden State Warrior. Salute, Kev. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's a solid player, but just not a needle pusher right now. Complementary. With that said, it's going to upgrade our weakness, which was rotation guys, struggling to field a 10-man rotation, but struggling to score off the bench, extra depth like we needed. If Brunson goes down, if Grimes goes down, quickly goes down, again, we're solid right now. And I do think, I agree, I think Hart will start at some point, maybe not in his first game or second game, but he'll end up being a starter. Quentin Grimes is amazing, is part of this team's future, no doubt about it, but he's inconsistent still. He's up and he's down right now. When called upon, Josh Hart is a 27-year-old seasoned veteran right now. The one that Tom Thibodeau will fall in love with is a Thibs kind of guy. Thibs lobbied for the Minnesota Timberwolves to pick up Josh Hart as well. So yeah, this is a Leon and a Thibs move through and through. With that said, I love the fact that he's unselfish. We have the San Antonio Spurs sending Josh Richardson to the Pelicans, ladies and gentlemen. So there's the Josh Richardson move out there. Reports are the New York Knicks are still going back and forth with Obi on multiple deals with teams with 30 minutes to play. Let's go. Does Obi find a new home? Pudge Nice says Obi's a goner. I love Obi, but let's see. The Utah Jazz and the Brooklyn Nets are having talks over a Ben Simmons, Russ Westbrook swap. So that's crazy right now, what Ben Simmons' trade values become. With that said, man, it's a salary dump for Russ's expiring now. So that's all that Ben Simmons has become, man. Bless him. An expiring contract for salary out here. We have the Lakers still in discussions for Bojan Bogdanovic. He's another big name that's going to get moved in the next 30 minutes. Let's see. What's good? Second childhood. Mace, Starks, Ewing, Houston, LJ, Oak, the best Knicks. Good times. Good times indeed, man. Let's get back to that. Gritty toughness and protecting the garden with that. Yeah, he played with Brunson at Villanova, champions together as well. That's going to be great chemistry and ESP. And yeah, the size-wise does still leave that void. We're still searching, in my opinion, for that big wing player, but Josh Hart is a temporary, maybe a short-term solution. Let's see what happens with RJ moving ahead. Right, I think RJ at 6'7" is okay. His perimeter defense does need to pick up, and it's going to be a big second half of the season for us. Hopefully, a long playoff push, a long playoff run. With this said, the New York Knicks still hold on to their Dallas selection. I don't see the Dallas Mavericks being like a top 5 team in the NBA. So I do think that pick is still going to be like 20 to 25 range. We got to see how the Kyrie and Luka pairing sorts itself out. But I do think that the Mavericks are still going to be around that range. Maybe a top 8, top 7 team in the league record wise. So I think that the New York Knicks will still have a solid selection in this draft. If you're a draft junkie, we got you covered as well, like I am. I think building through the draft is still a critical part of a team's success right now. We found Quentin Grimes. We found Emmanuel Quickley. We found Jericho Sims. We found Miles McBride. We found RJ Barrett through the draft as well. So, we have more drafted players than signed free agents in Randall and Brunson. And we drafted, of course, Mitchell Robinson. I can't forget. So, the New York Knicks have been building this squad we have right now through the draft. And that should continue right now. The 2023 draft is going to be big. And I really want the New York Knicks to hold on to one of these picks right now, as the New York Knicks are going back and forth with another draft pick, Obi Toppin, right now. Let's see what happens. We're refreshing. Let's see what happens with Obi Toppin. Would you guys be upset if Obi gets moved? You got to see the deal first, of course. But what are your thoughts about the Obi tenure with the New York Knicks? Even if he sticks around, it's going to be bittersweet. If he gets traded, it's going to be bittersweet for me. It's just been a situation that hasn't been planned well. It's been misused and hasn't been given that full potential to shine up in here. Yeah, facts 2 chips. Let's go. Big time pickup. I just like the parameters of the pick as well. It'll be a top 15 selection if it does convey to the Blazers. But that means the New York Knicks made the playoffs as well, so that's big right now. With Mikal Bridges, the New York Knicks would be a heavyweight in the East right now. Let's see. Did the New York Knicks pull off a trade for Zach LaVine right now? It's going to go down to the 11th hour right now. There's so many trade deadlines, man, been come and gone. First and foremost, it's a privilege to be rocking out with you all. Knick Streets out here. Don't take any of this for granted. Sharing this as a Knicks fan, Knicks community out here. And we react at the same time, first and foremost, when things go down right now. I think the Knicks are still going to make another move. I'll be surprised if we don't. We have Derrick Rose, Obi situations. Cam's now gone, of course. Eddie says we better not move Obi unless it's part of getting an actual star in return. Yep. One thing we are hearing, though, today is that Obi's value is still reasonably high around some teams. They see that he was misused. They see his potential. They see a fit on certain teams. So like you said, Eddie, let's not just throw Obi away. It's got to make sense, man. It's got to make sense. And we're 20 minutes off right now, man. Refresh gang out here right now. Obi is soft on the boards. He just needs to be in a situation where he can make mistakes. He can play. He can develop right now. And that's just not this place right now with Tom Thibodeau. Look, when it was different, when we drafted him, I understand. Leon Rose was like in a position where this ball club was like, no one knew where it's going. Julius Randle came off a horrible year in 2019, and we needed a power forward replacement, and a dude like Obi's talent slipped to the 8th pick right now. But the plan after that was a failure. After that, we didn't pivot. We didn't trade him earlier when he was higher, value was higher, etc. So let's see what happens, what kind of value we get. But I do think there's going to be a huge level of the fan base that's going to be ticked off right now. And we have another trade. The Charlotte Hornets are sending Mason Plumlee, the big man, to the Clips as well. So the Clips are loading up their Clips to take on the Lakers, the Suns, the Nuggets, the Grizz. It's crazy in the West right now. It's crazy. Yeah, man. These second round picks are getting thrown around like Skittles right now as well. There's going to be like 5 teams in the NBA that has everyone's second round pick, and like 25 teams with no second round picks. The Knicks made a chemistry move with Josh Hart. I like it. Toughness. He's going to bring some versatility playing off the ball. Josh Hart doesn't need to be on the ball, but another quality perimeter defender as well. So goodbye blow-bys with that situation. When you play Grimes and Hart next to each other, even with IQ, that could be one of my favorite lineups with IQ, Grimes and Hart right now. That's going to be like Fort Knox on the perimeter lockdown with that situation. We have former Knick Kevin Knox, draft pick, heading to the Warriors right now. Detroit's making some moves. Let's see. Let's keep refreshing for that next Woj bomb. Shams, what's going to happen, man? Tell us what's going down. And the Clippers are sending Reggie Jackson to the Hornets in that deal, man. So Charlotte gets another point guard. That's crazy. What happens with Terry Rozier, Scary Terry? And what happens with Gordon Hayward with that situation, man? The Hornets are going nowhere fast. They're making some pivot. Derrick Rose, heavily linked to the Bucks. Let's see right now. Yep, rumors going around the league is that the Milwaukee Bucks are still all in on D Rose. Let's see what happens with that. Chi-Town's finest. Does he end up on another team? Does he stay with the Thibs fam? That's going to be another bittersweet situation right now. If the Knicks pull off Levine, right, I hope it's not for too many draft picks, because that's going to be interesting. Steve Popper from Newsday says, latest I've heard is no talk in New York of Zach LaVine, but since there's lots of voices in MSG and everyone seems to be getting traded in the last hour, who knows? So that's interesting. Steve Popper, not exactly the newsbreaker, but not exactly not connected either. So he's not hearing anything on his side of things for LaVine in New York. So just like Dirty Dancer was saying earlier, there could be just too much smoke there. These bigger deals, we know how difficult they are, fam, to pull off at the 11th hour as well, right? Teams going back and forth, phone lines tied up, all of that. The summer is the better time to do those kind of deals, man. Real Brooklyn's in the house. Let's go. The Hart deal tells me that D Rose is also gone. It's looking that way. We might hear the deal right after the deadline passes, but we only have like less than 15 or so minutes left. Let's see. But I think Derrick Rose, it would be wise to try to get out of the salary and see what we can get for an expiring salary, man. D Ras, let's go. Salute. Derek, salute. If the Knicks don't make another move with all the assets they have, that the front office needs to go right now. Who would you want to see, Derek? Do you want the Knicks to pull that big swing for Levine? Do you want us to try to get Mikal Bridges, another size wing? A stretch big man would be nice, but I don't see that happening right now. I think with Hartenstein, with Sims, these guys, the front office seems to be happy with these guys right now. The rumors will continue. We brought in another CAA guy, a Leon Rose former client, Josh Hart. So it seems like it's just CAA at the moment, man. All you could do but laugh with that said until we break the CAA. But Josh Hart tells me that this move is a long-term move because he has a player option. We traded for him knowing this. So I think the Knicks will try to keep Josh Hart, and they'll probably come to an agreement in the summer, in an extension. I think late June is when he can pick up that player option. The deadline to pick up his player option is late June. So I think Josh Hart and the New York Knicks will come to some kind of extension agreement, a contract renewal. I think it'll be something like maybe he's on 12 million now. I could see it being something like 14, maybe 14, 15 mil, maybe a 3-year deal with the third year, maybe another player option on the third year, maybe another team option on the third year. But if I'm to make a prediction right now, I think the Knicks and Josh Hart will come to an extension. He'll be a long-term Knick up in this thing. And I think they'll sign a 3-year deal. Let's see. John Wall back to Houston. He's going to get bought out for real. I know some will not agree with this, but I would trade Barrett for Collins, who I believe is a killer in Atlanta. Yeah, look, a lot of people now are on the fence with RJ, so that's going to be interesting to see what ends up happening. I'm personally not a fan of Collins, but he does have potential. Yeah. So yeah, we haven't really heard any like closely tied New York beat writer to the Zach LaVine news, talking about Ian Begley, Fred Katz, Bondi, Steve Popper. None of them are reporting anything to do with Zach LaVine. No Woj, no Shams. There's been a few Chicago-connected outlets, but that's it right now. I think the Knicks will probably get an Obi deal done, maybe late, and we might get a Derrick Rose deal done. But it does look like the Zach LaVine buzz is not going to happen at this point in time, man. I'll be shocked right now. This thing will explode. Best believe it. Let's get it. RJ for Bridges and Patty Mills would be solid. Yep, I would do that. 19. Get Patty, get shooting, and get Mikal. Long-term piece. Long-term wing. The guy that we need with extra size. But again, ideally I'd like a bigger, stronger 3-man, a guy who can check KD, a guy who can check Jason Tatum of the world. But man, Mikal Bridges is solid. He's really solid. He's really solid, man. We also have Jumpman Jericho Sims in the dunk contest, so that's going to be fun. So the New York Knicks will have Quentin Grimes in the Rising Star game. We'll have Jericho Sims now in the dunk contest. We'll have Julius Randle, of course, in the All-Star game. And we might have now Jalen Brunson make the injury replacement for Jaylen Brown. So let's see. Let's see who gets to replace Jaylen Brown. I would have to predict that Jalen Brunson is in the lead position. The way he's been playing recently, I would select him over Harden and select him over Trae Young. You have to, with the way he's been playing right now. So the Hornets have moved on from Plumlee. We heard rumors of that going on. Let's refresh this situation, ladies and gentlemen. Just over 10 minutes to go. The Atlanta Hawks plan to keep John Collins. Oh man, you can't make this up. John Collins and the Hawks are a toxic couple that can't live together without each other. Man. Look, like I said, the summer is the best time to pull off trades. There's no doubt about it. The trade deadline are good for some things, for urgency, but some things it's not good for right now. But having said that, man, Atlanta Hawks, your front office is a failure, because that's been like 4 deadlines in a row that you've not been able to trade John Collins. Despite the whole league knows that you want to trade John Collins, and you're still not able to trade John Collins, which is crazy. We got Mike Conley, who's going to wear number 10 with the T-Wolves with that situation. So Steve Popper reiterates no news with Zach LaVine on his front. With that said, let's go. Let's go, man. 10 minutes to go. What's good almighty? Your boy OG, still a Raptor. What's happening? What's happening with OG right now? Derrick Rose. Bogdanovic. I don't think Bogdanovic has been moved yet. The New York Knicks had actual conversations with Bogdanovic. Man, imagine if we swung that move for the 3 spot. Maybe RJ goes to another situation. One would have to think, why are we talking about Bogdanovic if we're sweet on RJ? Let's see. Knicks roster a little short since the trade. Yeah. Agree, yeah. Possible 10-man rotation. I hope it's a 10-man rotation. Let's go. Trae Young will forever get a ring. Will never get a ring, sorry, as a Hawk. Front office don't know how to handle the talent. Yep. Yeah, agree. They shouldn't have traded Kevin Huerter to begin with as well. That was a bad trade. Back and forth on deals with Obi. Absolutely. Indiana is a situation to watch. Shams now reporting that Devontae Graham and 4 second rounders to San Antonio. Like I said, man, these second rounders have been handed out like Skittles. Right now, with 9 minutes left, we out here. Let's go, Nick Streets. Let's see what happens. Bogdanovic is out there. OG's out there. Let's see if the Levine buzz is real right now. Is there one more bomb in Woj and Shams? Let's go. The Blazers are trading Gary Payton II to the Warriors for 5 second-round picks. So there you have it. Gary Payton II ends up back with the Warriors for 5 second-rounders. Man. Yep. Where the hell are these teams getting all these second-rounders? Nobody knows. They're printing second-rounders just like money. But yeah, a lot of marginal moves. We're waiting for that big bomb to hit. Leon Rose, what you got right now? Derrick Rose is not going to play for the rest of the year. Right, find him a new home. Obi Toppin's probably not going to play too much. Let's see if something makes sense. Outside of that, I think a bigger move involving RJ or anyone else is probably not going to happen this deadline right now. I'll be shocked right now. Let's see. One of the Bogues. Yep. Let's see. Yeah, it was interesting, Will. 5 seconds for signing Peyton for a few months. That's shrewd business right there. We had reports today also, every team was calling the Blazers for Dame time, and still, the Blazers rejected every single call. So that looks like a marriage, a rare NBA marriage that's here to stay, fam. Yep. Obi brings that excitement to the Garden. Trading him would be a mistake. It's unfortunate that the Knicks throughout the years have had good players, yeah, and then screwed it up with dumb trades. Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. Obi has talent in my eyes. It's come to a situation where is he going to be able to realize that talent here? You know, are we too far in now with the Randall and the buy-in with these veterans? You know, I'd love Obi to stick around. Let's see. What's good, Barbara? Should call Sack to see if they want a deal. Who would you like to see with Sack? I do like Kevin Huerter, but he's a keeper for them. I think Malik Monk's been balling out, but the Josh Hart situation makes that redundant. Yep. Okay, so we have some news from Ian Begley on the Zach LaVine front, and that is that the Knicks communicated to someone earlier this afternoon that trade for LaVine was highly unlikely to happen. Yep. Highly unlikely to happen on the Zach LaVine front. The Knicks have communicated to someone earlier this afternoon that a trade for LaVine was highly unlikely. So there you have it, ladies and gents. We have been, doing some due diligence, obviously talking to Chicago. It was probably more of like what would the deal look like? Nothing came to fruition. We keep it moving. With that said, those kind of deals are huge right now, huge to get done. and I'm not surprised. Not surprised, but let's see. Let's see now what happens with D Rose, what happens with Obi. Yeah, I'm happy for Devin Booker as well. Looks like he's going to stick in Phoenix for the minute. CP3, now KD. Booker's got to get back healthy, but let's see. Yeah, it's a rare situation, man, with loyalty now. But yeah, Dame, you know, feels like he can maybe still win with Portland as well. You know, try to rejig some pieces, and let's see. I think with that situation, you know, Jeremy Grant was a great pickup, but they've failed to be able to supplement him with superstar talent. You know, Anthony Simons is a great piece for the future moving up, but they're not going to be able to compete with the Kings in the West. Yep. Yet the Orgnick fanatic salute. How we feeling? The big move will be in the off season. You think? I kind of agree with that. And you know, a lot of beat writers, executives have told us, you know, draft night is where it's at, ladies and gentlemen. You have all the organizations all on the phone. You know, deals happen fluidly, all of that stuff. But having said that, it's been a crazy trade deadline. Also, Alex Caruso, great one, a good name. No news with Caruso yet. Let's see. That's going to be interesting to see what actually finally happens with the Bulls right now. The Bulls are sitting on their hands doing nothing. Right, that. Mikal Bridges is absolutely a name we need to target. I think unfortunately though, as realization sinks in, is that the New York Knicks and the Brooklyn Nets never do trades together anymore. Bobby Marks also, you know, confirmed that when he was in the Nets front office, it was an unwritten acknowledgement that the Knicks would never call the Nets and the Nets would never call the Knicks. So let's see what happens with Bridges. Also, yeah, great point, Will. With the Hart pickup, the Caruso one is questionable right now. We got ourselves our own Caruso. Yeah, Detroit's been making some moves. They shipped out Kevin Knox. They still got Bogey, but they shipped out Knox. They shipped out Sadiq Bey, and they've got themselves Wiseman as well. Let's see, Stewart, Wiseman. Stephen A. Smith says on Get Up, the Nets are an utter disaster. The New York Knicks will be ruling New York for the foreseeable future by default. So a backhanded compliment there from Scream and A. Man, we revoke his Knicks fandom card. So Woj says 12. Last 12 hours ago from Woj was that talks on OG are rolling into the final hours, but still nothing since then. Christian Wood is staying in Dallas, per Mark Stein. So we mentioned the Dallas pick. I do think that's going to convey for the Knicks, but it's going to be something like it's 20 to 20, 25 to 28 range at best. So Kyrie and Luka, the pairing's still questionable for me, but they're going to be a good team. Yep. And let's see, Pudge, one more minute to go, ladies and gentlemen. We keep refreshing. The Zach LaVine situation doesn't look like it's going to happen. A dude, Chicago Bulls insider, Sammy Hassan, says the Knicks made a trade offer for LaVine, but nothing's really come of it right now. The Hawks are keeping John Collins, like we said. That's surprising and not surprising, man. With that said, I think the Hawks shot right now with Trae Young. He's probably likely out of there. I'll make a prediction right now. Like the chat been saying, I don't think Trae Young is going to stay in ATL long term, really, anymore. I don't see that happening. As the trade deadline's passed, it's hit, ladies and gents. right? We've only made one deal so far, reportedly. Let's see. Anything late, we'll get that confirmation. Like Woj always says, the New York Knicks are done. He'll say it. A Pat Bev, a Minnesota reunion is in the works, apparently. Patrick Beverley's expected to be bought out by the Magic. So he's keen to go back to Mini right now. Second round pick's been thrown around like pizza right now. The Knicks are quiet. Nothing yet with Obi, nothing with Rose. Let's see. Exactly, Barbara. Trades can still happen, just not announced yet. I'm hoping for more. We're all hoping to hear some clarity on the situation, man. We'll bring it to you as well. I'll be on for probably another 30 minutes and we'll react to see what happens. You know, this can't be the lone move, I think. It's got to be something else go down. Yeah, Brandon Ingram. The Lakers had a lot of talent, man. Ingram, Julius Randle, D'Lo, Josh Hart. It's crazy to think that they all played with each other as well. The Josh Hart thing, I'm super keen to see how it works out. I'm glad we get to keep a lottery pick. You know, if the Knicks don't make the playoffs, so that's a big part of that trade. Why I see that trade as a B or B plus. It's an upgrade for our squad on the floor, and it's also a trade where it's not going to kill us as well. If we make the lottery, we end up with the pick back, and we send 4 second rounders. Not giving Obi away for nothing. I think Leon Rose is also of the same mindset. The latest report was that the Knicks are asking for a high price for Obi. So I think Leon Rose is worried about what it might look as well, trading away. The Knicks have had offers on the table for Obi. That's been confirmed. So if the Knicks don't trade Obi, maybe they have a greater plan in the summer to see. Yep. As this thing's over, let's go. Let's see what happens. Kyrie has the things to prove and money to recoup. Interesting that Cam and Knox, Vaughn, end up in Portland. Yes, very interesting. I hope Kevin Knox is going to get some minutes, but it seems like he was playing a minute in Detroit, but then he's not playing. Yeah. Nosebleed, yeah, $200 seat. Salute to everyone in the building, admiring the Knicks as well. Obi's not in the dunk contest this year. Jericho Sims is. But let's see what happens with Obi right now. The Knicks have a lot of cooks in the kitchen. Don't forget about that. Does that make deals more difficult as well? You know, Leon Rose isn't the one on the phones all the time too. You guys probably know. But just to mention, Scott Perry handles a lot of phone calls. Gerson Rosas handles a lot of phone calls as well. Maybe even Brock Aller, I think, handles phone calls as well. And then Leon gets involved. Yep, the club loves McBride and Grimes. I think they're going to stay right now. There'll be a wash-up sort of conversation as well. I think Ian Begley is going to be doing a post-deadline stream starting soon. So that will reveal a little bit in terms of, like, did the Knicks get close? Did they pull back? Did another team pull back? Kind of thing. But Mets, Knicks, nothing yet. Nothing so far to confirm. Just the Josh Hart deal. That's it so far. But we know the details of deals and trades will leak out in a minute. Any minute now. I mean, these reporters are working overtime right now, man. Woj must have himself like a few assistants logged into his Twitter account, man. A Chris Duarte name, that's been something talked about. What's your feelings towards a Chris Duarte move? The Raptors got Jakob Poeltl back. That's their big man. Been a lot of second round picks traded. The big trade went down last night in the morning, and from Brett Siegel from a Sports Illustrated confirms the Bulls will not be trading Zach LaVine or DeMar DeRozan. So yep, the Bulls not trading Zach or DeMar. Let's see. I think these guys are delusional. They probably wanted 4 first-round picks. You know, KD got traded for 4 unprotecteds, so they probably wanted something similar. Which, you know, for a guy that doesn't play defense, it's tough. Right now, that's tough. Vaughn, salute. Kendrick Perk says that he believes the trade for this Hart deal can land the team into that 4th seed. You know what? I think we got to anticipate the Nets falling down. The Hawks are a mess. The Raptors are still a mess. It's basically against the Heat. The Heat and the Hawks. The Hawks are still a mess. So yeah, the Knicks have got a tough schedule. That's going to be super tough. But let's see. Drew says, in all honesty, getting Zach LaVine was a long shot, but I'm satisfied in getting Josh. People forget, before he was hurt last year, he was averaging 20 a game. Yep. Yeah, underrated pickup, just like Brunson. Let's see. Right, yeah, this is crazy, man. It's been crazy. Grandpa Mello. Knicks have two open roster spots too. Let's not forget about the buyout market too. The buyout candidates, the Knicks will be lining up with that situation. Yeah, but I like the Josh Hart move. I gave it a B with a move to be a B plus. Once I see it on the court, initially on paper, I think it's a solid B. You know, it's an upgrade. So Zach Brazilla from the Post says 2 teams the Knicks are chasing, the Heat and the Nets, either got worse or didn't do nothing at the deadline, and the Knicks got better. In that vein, it was a good deadline for them. So that's Zach Brazilla saying he thinks the Knicks still had a good deadline. The Raptors core stays together, so no trades. No trades with OG, with Gary Trent, Pascal, Fred VanVleet, Siakam. No trades for the Raptors. That's interesting right there. Outside of the Jakob Poeltl deal, of course, they got their big man, Jakob Poeltl. So that's not going to move the needle for me. And we got better, exactly like Zach says. Buzzer says salute. Buzzer. The Knicks made an upgrade. It's the upgrade I expected us to make. I knew we were going to make, and I'm okay with the terms. The pick is protected in the lottery, so we're not at risk of missing out on a lottery pick if the Knicks don't make the playoffs. If the Knicks do make the playoffs, and it goes to 4 second round, it goes to the pick goes to the Portland Trailblazers. If the Knicks don't make the playoffs, we'll keep the pick and we'll send 4 second rounders. So that's good business. Like Real says, good upgrade, but I have to be realistic with Boston, Philly, Miami. They're the elite. Yep, they're the elite in that situation. Pudge says Melo and Whiteside. What do you think about Melo and Boogie Cousins? What do you think about Boogie Cousins, sort of end of the bench enforcer, just like Rasheed Wallace was that enforcer for the Knicks, 54-win team. We bring in a Boogie Cousins, Josh Hart swagger, a lot of dogs in this locker room now. Too bad we played the Nets, right? A few times just in time for Kyrie to go off on the New York Knicks. Yep, that is crazy right now. Everybody's staying, right? Obi. let's see what happens with the trade deadline. I think chemistry is a big factor. So yeah, Begley reports that the Knicks will not have a deal that includes Obi Toppin at the trade deadline, per sources. So yeah, like Drew says, salute. No deals for Obi. So Obi's still a New York Knick. Everybody got their wish. Now look, that doesn't mean Obi's here long term. Like I said, the off season's only not far away. The Knicks are all in on this playoff push now. We're going to need bodies. We're going to need guys who can play. We know Obi can play in the rotation. And also Derrick Rose, situational. Deuce McBride's getting all his minutes right now. Does Melo come in now with one of these roster spots? The New York Knicks are all in on this playoff push. The Nets are about to go down, and there's going to be that 5th and 6th seed up for grabs, ladies and gentlemen. We got the Boston Celtics. We got the Philadelphia 76ers, of course. We got Philadelphia, of course. And we got Cleveland, I feel, that are probably going to be thereabout. But then we have the Brooklyn Nets and the Miami Heat, which is probably going to fall down. Salute Lady D422. I like the Hart trade, but they still didn't address the main issue along with an athletic wing who can shoot threes. Yep, that's a great point. Josh Hart is undersized again. Another dogged defender like Grimes, but undersized. Let's see, he plays tougher and bigger than what his height is. And he's got that mentality to succeed in New York, but the shooting's not there either. He can cut off the ball really well. Let's see. Fournier's still here too, buzzer. Yep. Fournier, Obi, Derrick Rose, they're still a New York Knick. Of course, Cam Reddish is now gone. So you guys tell me now, grade this trade deadline. Let's get it. I'll give you my grade. I've got to keep it at a B. Right, it's not a failure, not underwhelming, but not overwhelming at all. It was just a B. We made an upgrade. It could fall into a C plus. It could fall into a B plus. The New York Knicks had a lot of smaller moves they could have pulled off. Derrick Rose for a couple second rounders, even something, just get something back, but. Doesn't look like we were able to, man. Yep, OG is still in Toronto. The only move Toronto made was to acquire Jakob Poeltl. Fam, so the Raptors core is still intact. The Bulls didn't trade Levine. They didn't trade DeMar. Let's see, they didn't trade nothing. KJ salute, C plus. C plus for this trade deadline. Yep. I can get with that. I think there was a lot of minor moves that could have been done, which could have made this being a B plus, but I'm just going to keep it at a B. Keep it at a B. Let's see what the Josh Hart deal does for this organization, man. Because I don't really want to overpay Josh Hart either. That's a part of the trade that's going to be attached. If we lock up Josh Hart long term for, let's say, 18, 17 mil, that's not going to be great. If you lock him up for 14 mil, that's okay. 12 mil would be even better, but he's on 12 mil, and he's outplaying that. Another underrated aspect which makes this trade deadline a success is we can extend our rotation now. I'm not a fan of the 9-man rotation. I think the Knicks need to extend and give these guys more minutes, give these guys a rest. Continue to play Obi still and Deuce McBride, hopefully. But all it means is if we get an injury, if somebody goes down, an important defender like Grimes or Quickly, we at least have another guy like Josh Hart, that can come in and cause some havoc up in here. So Woj says the Raptors never turned out to be sellers, adding Spurs center Poeltl. So they're buyers. They'll have to make some harder decisions in the off-season, but Masai Ujiri and Bobby Webster tested and learned more about the value. of several players. Yeah, they learned, all right. They learned, man. Nobody willing to pony up all these picks that they think right now. The one, the only, Mark Berman chimes in, as always. Knicks executive William Wesley has a love affair with Obi Toppin, and they set asking price way too high. Thibodeau still has reservations on Obi's basketball IQ. So there you get it, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, we have a situation where Mark Berman still has, obviously he's retired, but still has connections to Tom Thibodeau, still has connections within the New York Knicks organization. He says that Wesley has a love affair for Obi. Like I said, there was a lot of people in the front office right now. Some people love a guy, some people hate a guy. I think there are people that would trade RJ, and there are people that would keep RJ. There are people that would trade Toppin, and people who would keep Toppin. But the Knicks set the asking price too high. Thibodeau still has reservations on Obi's IQ. With that said, man. So Obi's future is still unwritten, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned on the next episode of The Streets Are Buzzin' for Obi Toppin, because we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. But I'm willing to put money that his long-term future is not with this organization right now. They doubled down on Juju Randle. Like a gambler at Caesars, they doubled down on Julius. So, look, what would be a success, at least while Obi's here, if he could play 15 to 20 minutes? Okay, some versatility, but Thibs ain't worth that. Thibs ain't willing to do that right now. Yeah, 10-man rotation. We need that. We need that. And let's see. So yeah, pretty underwhelming end to the deadline. But the Knicks made their bigger move yesterday, and Steph Bondi tweets, "No deals for the Knicks other than the Josh Hart trade." So that's confirmation now. These beat writers, Begley, Bondi, Berman, and the like, have confirmed right now. Yep. So yeah, with that said, there was talk that Obi had won some faith over Thibs, but maybe he lost it again. Maybe that was smoke. Right now, Thibs is in love with Josh Hart. He's in love with Jericho Sims. He's in love with Hartenstein. And the New York Knicks have a huge end of this season to come, and another big summer. It's all in for the playoffs. Strap yourself in, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a bumpy ride for the rest of this season, but the Knicks are all in on the playoffs. The Sacramento Kings have checked in on D Rose, but nothing happened. So Pudge says everybody got their wish. Upgrade, and we didn't sell anybody off, really, except Cam. So let's see. We have more than 10 guys. Buzzer, I think we got 12 guys. We got 3. We got actually 13 guys. I think we have 2 roster spots open now, fam. I think we got 13 guys on the roster. Yeah, we'll be breaking it down later. We'll be on live post-game tomorrow, post-game Utah. And like I said, next week, Friday Night Live, we'll have a guest on for All-Star Buzz. That'll be fun. Yeah, we'll continue to break down Josh Hart's game. I want to look at some film, look up some numbers, and we'll talk about Josh Hart's impact now. The lone addition after this trade deadline that's hit for 2022-2023. And I appreciate everyone out here rocking out. I'm going to sign out at the moment, but we'll be back in a minute. And let's get it. Appreciate everyone. And your grades for this deadline, I've given it a B right now. It could move up to be a B+. Let's say if Josh Hart balls out, great fit, the Knicks win a playoff series, this could definitely become a B+ addition. But it could also become a C+. In my opinion, the story's not written yet. Great rebounder, great dude off the ball. But like I said, I think it comes down to how much do the Knicks re-sign Hart for as well. Barbara and chat fam, I think the Knicks look like they want to keep Josh Hart. How much would they like to re-sign and extend him for? You guys are agreeing a B. Yep, and a B is fair. Yep, absolutely. Yep, and a C plus I could get with as well. Yep, I'm more annoyed there was no other minor moves as well. With that said, the Knicks set their asking price high for Obi, but yep, peace, and I'll speak to you soon. Streets are buzzing. Smash that like button. New York Knicks Nation, we here. It's going to be a fun rest of the season. Pudge, great show. Appreciate you. And we'll talk soon.